Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So my name is Shannon. If you have not been here before, welcome. If you have been here before, welcome back. You guys know the drill. So today is a much anticipated video. I'm finally getting to film it. It is going to be on the new Laura Lee Nudie Patootie palette. So this is what it looks like. It came in kind of like a pink unicarton. I don't have that in this room. I should have brought it, but it's really pretty. The packaging I think is beautiful. So it has the name along the front and it has her emblem on the back, which is really nice. And then it has the Laura Lee Los Angeles down rose gold in the corner. The inside of the palette, it has a large mirror, which is awesome. I really like that. That is all the shades. Really beautiful. Now, I know a lot of people were complaining that this was really a neutral tone palette. It does have neutral shades in it, but I do think the foiled shades are really unique, and I've never used a foiled shade quite as good as what is in this palette. So I think just for that reason, like, it's a really unique palette, and I do like the shade selection for an everyday basis. So I can use this every day, like before I go to work, and I know the look's not going to be too crazy, but if you did want to do a more crazy look, you can as well. It has shades to deepen the outer V, which you will see in kind of the demo that I have coming up for you. You can really build depth with this palette. The shades blend really well. I've used almost every shade in this palette. I think the only shade I haven't used a ton would be this shade right here, the shade Uncover. So this is more of a shimmer shade, but I do know I have used Topless, the kind of rosy pink shimmer shade, and that one works beautifully. So I'm assuming it's going to perform pretty similar to that. But other than that, all the shades I've used are absolutely stunning. The eye look I have on right now is the one I've created. Of course, if you guys want to see it, I am going to demo this look, but I just wanted to talk about the palette briefly. There is 14 shades in here. It's a very long palette, so you get good pan sizes in here as well. It's $45 US. It's a little bit more than her last palette, the Cat's Pajamas, but I think this one, like, overall, she's really done a good job at answering and doing what people have kind of asked. So a lot of people weren't a fan of the packaging of the last palette, but this, I think, is a huge improvement. So good on Laura for actually kind of improving on that and listening to her fan base. So if you don't know, this is by a YouTuber, Laura Lee, and this is her beauty brand, Laura Lee Los Angeles. This is the second palette that she released. So there is a palette before this. I will link, of course, all her information down below, as well as her channel and where you can purchase the palette. But yeah, guys, I really like this palette. I've been using it now ever since I got it. I use it quite a bit before I go to work. I think it's beautiful. And yeah, I definitely think it's worth the price. It is pricey to get to Canada though. It's, you know, you pay $13.99 shipping, it's $45 US with the conversion, and then they do charge you a duty charge of $25. So it ended up being about $100 bucks. If you do have a box in the States, which I do, but I didn't use it, but if you do and you can utilize that, I definitely would, because the shipping is a lot less. But I'm still happy that I purchased the palette. I do like Laura, so I don't mind supporting at all, and I think this palette is definitely something that people were asking for. I don't think it's boring at all. I love the shade selection. I will mention though, I don't think there's a good, like, all over the eye shade when you put like your primer or your concealer down. I can sometimes use the shade Undressed, which looks like it would be a good shade, but I find it has a little bit more color to it than you would think. So that's the one thing I think that's kind of missing, but everything else is in this palette, and I a lot of times will just use a translucent powder or whatever powder I have lying around to kind of make it easier to blend my shadows on top of after I add the primer. So that's not really a big issue for me, but I just wanted to let you guys know that. But I do really like this palette, and without saying any more, I think we should just get into the demo. All right, guys, so I have you zoomed in, so we're gonna get right into the demo. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Stripped, this shade right here, this kind of mustardy yellow shade, one of my favorite shades in the palette. I'm gonna grab this Real Techniques brush. You guys have seen me use this 1,000 times. I'm gonna dip into that color, tap it off a bit. And this has a nice big mirror in it, as I mentioned probably in the previous clip, so it's really easy to kind of do an eye look with. So I'm going to put that right up into the crease. I like this brush because it covers like a lot of my eye space. And it's super easy. It makes the shadows super easy to blend, even though they are very blendable. So once you get that color kind of to where you want it, I'm going to go in on the next side. So you see that blended super easily. There's tons of pigment in this palette. It goes on really easily, blends really well, so I really enjoy that about this palette. So now we're going to go in on the other eye and we're going to do the exact same thing. Okay, so I have both those eyes done for that shade. So I'm gonna go in with the shade, this is one of my favorite shades in the palette, Bear. This is kind of like the peachy pink shade. I'm gonna put that a little lower into my crease. And I'm gonna go in with a Morphe E17 brush. And we're gonna build this up in the crease. If you notice, I'm just kind of doing windshield motions to put that deeper into the crease. Now I'm going to go in on the other side, same color. Okay, so I think I have both those looking pretty even. So adding multiple shades to your crease can really help in building kind of definition to your eyes. So that's why I generally usually at least put 2 shades into my crease. And I'm gonna go in next with the shade, I think I'm gonna go in with Butt Naked, which is this shade right down here. So this one's kind of like a deeper brown shade. I'm gonna pop a little bit on that same E17 Morphe brush. And we're gonna really build that up in the outer V. So you can see the difference in that just darkening up that outer V. So now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to go in next with one of the foil shades. So I love the foil shades in this palette, as I mentioned. So there's Au Naturel, and then there is the shade Jaybird. So I'm going to go in with that shade all over my lid. I always go ham with that shade, so I'm just going to go ahead and put it all over my lid. And I'm actually going to start with using my finger. This works the best for applying these shades. So as you can see, it picks up quite a bit of product by just rubbing it lightly. So you can see that it looks beautiful. It's such a beautiful shade. Alright, so I tapped that everywhere I wanted, so I'm going to go in with this brush. This is just an AOA brush that was like $1. It's an E131. So I'm going to go in with this one and just kind of clean up that outer part. And we're going to take a little bit on the brush. Hopefully not too much. This is a harder product to pick up on your brush, so just be warned. I'm just going to go around that edge. Alright, so I have that the way I want it. I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. As you can see, there's like no fallout really with this shade, which is awesome. It's almost like an infused glitter shade, but it stays on the lid really well just by tapping it on. And this actually picked up quite a bit of product as well. So I think this is a really beautiful foiled shade. I actually hope she comes out with a full foiled shade palette because I would totally buy that. Alright, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to tap in on my finger. These feel really creamy as well. Okay, so I'm going to go back in with that AOA brush. We're going to pick up a little bit on the brush. You guys can see I have a little bit, then we're going to go around those edges. Alright, so I have those to where I want them right now. So you can see like the really nice shine that comes off that shade. Like it is such a unique shade. I literally don't have that kind of foiled shade in any of my palettes. So I am really happy that I went ahead and got this, but I really like it so far. I'm actually going to put my base on and then we'll come back and we'll finish kind of the lower lash line. Okay guys, so I'm back. So I went ahead and finished my base. As you can see, I did add some lashes. These are just Ardell Demi Wispies. I cupped them to make them more of like an accent lash. And I went in with the L'Oreal Voluminous Original, I believe it's called, mascara. It's in the gray and gold tube. I can't reach it from here, so I'm just going to tell you that I've used it in a ton of my videos. And then I also went in with the new, let me check if I have this like by me. So I also went in with the new Smashbox Always On liquid liner with the red top. So this is what it looks like. So I seen Tati talk about this in a video and I really like this. I'm really glad that I picked this up. If you're looking for a good liquid liner, I just put that along the top lash line. I didn't do a wing with it where I was going to put lashes on, but this is a really good liquid liner. Alright, so I'm going to go in on the lower lash line. I haven't put mascara there because I wanted to go back in with the palette. So I'm going to go under with the shade Stripped. So that mustard shade I used at the beginning in my crease. So I'm going to put this on a Royal and Langnickel. This is just like a small smudger brush. I'm just going to run that along my lower lash line. So we're going to get a bit of that. Okay, and I'm going to take that same brush and I'm going to go in with the peachy shade Bear. I also use that in my crease. I'm going to use the same brush. And I really like to focus this kind of on that outer part. Okay. Then I'm just going to take this Tarte brush and I'm going to kind of smoke that out a little bit so it's not so harsh like the lines. So we'll do that. Go up along here. Alright, so that's that part, and then I'm going to go in and add the shade Stark, which is this kind of white iridescent shade. I'm going to put that in my inner corners and along my brow bone. Alright, so I'm just going to take this Unique, this is like a crease brush, but I like this for my inner corners. So I'm going to take that light iridescent shade. I'm going to pop that in the inner corners. This shade is like, it is beautiful for the inner corner. Really shows up really well. You guys can see the difference. So I'll pop it on this side. Sometimes I like to add a little bit to my nose. Okay, so that's the inner corner highlight, and I'm going to bring that along my brow bone. I'm just going to use that same brush. I am going to go in with a fluffy brush just to mix it all together. Or blend it, I should say, not mix it. Okay, so I'm going to take this guy. It's just an AOA brush. The dollar brush. I really like this brush actually. You can get these on Shop Miss A or Shop Misa. I featured them in one of my videos. I'll throw that up in the cards if I can find it. So I'm just going to spray my skin with some of the MAC Fix Plus, the pink light. I really like this. Some people are liking this, some people aren't. I'm going to go ahead and use this. So we're going to shake it up. I'm going to pull my hair back. Okay, we're going to let that dry. And I always like to take my powder brush that I used for powder. This is just a Tarte brush that came with the holiday collection. And I kind of like to push that into my skin, make sure it's all blended and there's no kind of like plops from the spray. So I'm gonna do that. All right, so we have that done and I'm just gonna add some mascara to my lower lash line and then I will be back. Alright guys, so I have everything complete. That was using the Laura Lee Nudie Patootie palette. So that's what my eyes look like. I did, like I said, go ahead and add lashes. So it's just, it's a beautiful eye look. It's such an easy palette to do eye looks with. So I really enjoy that about it. So I'm going to zoom you guys out. Alright guys, so I have you zoomed out. So that's going to do it for this video. This is the look that I created with the new palette. I'm really happy I finally get a chance to film it for you guys. Of course, if you did enjoy the video, make sure you do give it a big thumbs up and hit that red subscribe button down below if you want to become part of my YouTube family. I'd love to have you here. If you guys have any looks you want to show me or you want me to check you out on Instagram, let me know it down in the comments. I love to see other looks done with the palette. If you guys want to see another look, then definitely let me know as well. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I definitely would recommend the palette. I think it's awesome, but I will see you next time. Bye, guys.